my lips are so ashy. I'm so sorry, y'all. That's disrespectful.
Hello everybody, it's your girl Takaija. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello. Make sure you subscribe and turn on that notification bell. This channel is all about the random things that go on in my mind. If you're returning, thank you. We are almost at 600 subscribers, so make sure you continue to subscribe, share this video, and get your friends to subscribe. Today's video is going to be all about the Mira Fertility Analyzer versus the Pregmate OPK cheapy test strips. So if you don't know, this channel started off as a trying to conceive journey. I was trying to get pregnant to conceive rainbow baby number 1. I stopped trying to conceive, but recently, and I'll link the video, I've been having, desires to want to conceive. So I kind of just determined we'll just go at it for this one cycle, see what happens. If it doesn't happen, we're gonna move on and live life and see what happens later. Yes, my Mira video has been circulating around YouTube, which is amazing. Thank you so much. Don't forget to use code TB20 if you want $20 off of your own Mira analyzer. But a lot of people have been asking me for an update. I have been using Mira on and off for the past few months to track my ovulation so I don't baby dance, so I don't get pregnant, because I wasn't on birth control. I ended up getting back on birth control. I had some really bad side effects, blood clots forming and all that, so I stopped it. So for the past, I would say 2 to 3 months, I've been off of birth control using my Pregmate OPK strips and Mira to see if they actually sync up. But people have been asking, like, is the Mira analyzer worth all that money? Should I just stick to OPKs, this and that? So this video is going to be all about the pros and the cons of both for me. It's going to be a little bit more of an in-depth review, my own opinion. I'm not getting paid to say either of these. I wish I could have done it with the Ava bracelet, but again, I have not worn it in months, so that app isn't even gonna really work for me. It's not gonna predict anything. I have some second morning urine over here. I have the Mira analyzer wand, and I also have the OPK Pregmate strip. So while those tests settle, I'm gonna talk about and hopefully be able to share screenshots and voiceovers on what I like about each. So bear with me as I figure out the technology and how this video is gonna go. Things first, let's get into the testing. We're going to do the LH test from Pregmate first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're gonna do the Mira one. You did this for 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3. So we're gonna flip it in, stick it in, and it's starting to analyze. Pregmate strip takes 5 minutes to analyze, so we'll read that first, and then the Mira analyzer takes 16 minutes. So between both of those analyzing, I'm gonna try to share a few screenshots and things like that. So let's start off with the pros of the OPK strips. OPK strips to me are the most cost-effective thing on the market. They are more cost-effective than even the digital OPK tests like at a drugstore. I use Pregmate, and I have the link below in my description. I spend about $30 for 100 ovulation tests and 20 or 30 pregnancy tests. They last forever, you guys. I ended up buying a new box because I gave away my old box because I stopped using them, but they are so worth the money. I love them. They're simple to use. They're very similar to the HCG strip test, and they're probably about 10 cents for a packet once you do the math. So they're really cost effective if you're trying to conceive and you're on a budget, or you just want to be cost friendly. The downside to me of OPK test strips are sometimes they can be hard to read a positive. So as you know, a positive is when the test line is as dark or darker than the control line. And sometimes, and I'll insert a screenshot of what may have been a positive last night. They look very similar, but like your eyes could be playing tricks on you. The lighting may not be right and things like that. So sometimes I don't know if I hit a true positive and if that's the time to baby dance. But the good thing about the OPK test is I use the app called Thermometer. And Thermometer, which I will insert a screen display or I'll insert a screenshot. If you take a picture of your OPK testing strip into Thermometer, they will give you a fertility, almost like a fertility score. I don't know what their numbers are based off of. I don't know the science behind their peak values and things like that. Like what's the difference between a 15 and a 100. So you want to get as close to, 100 and something, 160, I believe, as possible. So that's what I do like about the thermometer app. The only thing with that is if you don't take the correct type of picture each time, it can be extremely tricky because sometimes in your phone, the one strip will look lighter, but it's really darker. Sometimes you use flash, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you use a white background, sometimes you don't. So you just have to be really consistent, and I am really bad at being consistent, you guys. So if you look at my thermometer screen share or screen recording, you're gonna see that I started on cycle day 7, and I'm taking another test right now. It's analyzing for cycle day 13. Last night for cycle day 12 at 10:17, the colors were close, but they weren't even, and it said my fertility score was a 52, which means it's high, but it's not peak fertility. And this morning, when I used my first morning's urine, it went back down to 17, which is still high, but it's lower than it was last night. But again, none of these pictures are consistent, so it's hard. So I use my Mira analyzer to determine exactly how much LH is in my urine, because I wanted to see if it lines up with the Pregmate OPK strip. So as you can see, I'm about to put this test into my reader. The test line, as you can see, is much lighter than the control line. I'm gonna take a closest photo as I can. And it looks like I may have ovulated last night, even though I did not reach peak fertility. But the issue is that I'm possibly facing is, since I'm not reaching peak fertility, which means 2 double lines or 2 equal lines or darker on my strip, I may not be ovulating. I may be getting close, but I'm not fully ovulating. I was having ovulation pains last night, or like ovulation symptoms, but I noticed that my strips weren't reading as a full positive. So I'm taking that as I'm about to ovulate, or last night I was about to ovulate, but then now I'm not, because those strips are getting kind of lighter. But according to this morning, and again, this is all live, this is almost like a live OPK test, so bear with me as I work through this. My fertility score this morning at 7:10 was a 17. And now at 9:30, 2 hours later, and I haven't been drinking water, so it's pretty concentrated urine, it is a 25. So maybe I was about to hit a peak last night. I don't know. I don't know how to read this. But this is where Mira comes in handy, because Mira has the actual number, the concentration of hormone in my urine. While Mira is finishing analyzing, I have about 9 minutes on that one to go. I'll kind of talk about the pros and cons of that one as well. I wanted to see if they match up, and I'm gonna try to insert screen share of, you know, how I determined that Pregmate and Mira were on the same page, which is really good news for me, because at first I was like, oh my God, like I really hope that they match up, because I don't want people spending $300 on a product when they could be spending, you know, 10 cents per strip, or I don't want people spending little pennies on a strip when they could just invest in this $300 product that's better. But they both work the same. I just think, and I'll get into whether you should buy it or not later. But anyways, Mira tells you how much LH is in your urine, and they give you 3 different readings. Mira Analyzer detects and displays your actual hormone concentrations as a number and indicates 4 levels of hormone ranges. You're reaching peak fertility when LH is medium, and you are at peak fertility when LH is high. So I was reaching peak fertility last night because it read as a medium. I had 16.87 MIU per milliliter in my urine. But this morning when I took a test, my fertility score dropped down, and the LH in my urine was 1.42 MIU per milliliter / none. And that matched up with the Pregmate, because I had a very light test strip, and I'll put in, again, screenshots of what that looks like. I'll also insert screenshots of the Mira calendar. So the calendar will tell me per day how much LH or what range I'm in. So from cycle day 7 to about 12, all of them were none. So I wasn't reading as having any LH. I wasn't fertile at all. But yesterday, the 29th, it reads as medium. So I'll insert some screen shares to kind of compare what Pregmate and thermometer read me at and what Mira read me at, which I love. Again, Mira is the actual number. Pregmate slash thermometer are more of like a range. There's not a number, but it tells you like high, medium, low, which I like, and they both line up. What I'm looking for, which I was hoping to show you all in this demonstration video, but it looks like I'm not going to be reaching peak fertility anytime soon. Maybe I'm just gonna ovulate late this cycle. I wanted to show a strong positive on the Pregmate strip, and I wanted to show a high LH surge on the Mira analyzer. I wanted them to both line up. So I'm only on cycle day 13. Additionally, I ovulate between cycle days 11 and 14. So the fact that I had a peak last night, but not quite a positive, and it's declining this morning, means I probably am not ovulating. And again, I just stopped birth control a few months ago, so my body is still possibly regulating. But that sucks because I wanted to baby dance this cycle to try, but you know, it is what it is. My body's just not ready to release an egg, it's seeming like. I am gonna continue to track my ovulation throughout the day as I remember to, but if they only get lighter, I'm probably only going to track my cycle till about cycle day 15, which is Monday, because I leave for California on Tuesday and I'm not going to be on the road worrying about OPKing. It is what it is. But I'm hoping that they get darker, but it's feeling like it's not going to. My Mira finishes to analyze again. It takes 16 minutes. It takes forever. Like sometimes I just leave it, I forget about it, and then I come back like 20 minutes later. The pros of Mira, I think I kind of got into them. I love, like, I'm a science girl. I love to know numbers. What is the appropriate amount of LH you need in your body for ovulation and things like that? Again, disclaimer, every woman is different. So what might be the appropriate amount of LH in my body to ovulate may not be the same for you. Make sure you always consult your physician. I am not a physician. If you have even more questions, you can DM Mira on Instagram, Twitter, or email them. They are very, very good with their customer service. But I like Mira because it's scientific. It's a great tool. I feel like it gives me a little bit more insight. I see the graph as well, and I'll insert my graph so you guys can kind of see where my LH has been, where it spiked, and where it dropped. It's a little bit more scientific and a little bit more interactive than the OPK Pregmate strips, because some people do it old school. They use the LH strips, they paste them in a book. That's fine with them. I personally like everything to be digitized and saved so I can track my cycle over the course of a year or years, especially when it comes to trying to conceive. I also really like that Mira is clean to use and it's easy to use. You don't have to like look for little lines. You don't have to see if they're positive. It's going to tell you that you're at your peak, you're not at your peak, or you're reaching your peak. Period, point blank, pretty simple. I would say use the Mira analyzer for about 1 or 2 cycles so it just gets to know your body. I know my very first cycle using it, some of the numbers were off and they weren't matching up with the Pregmate strip. So at first I was a little bit disappointed, but by cycle 2, they started to match up. So I just think Mira needed time to learn my cycle, learn, you know, how many days are on my cycle, when I'm ovulating and things like that. So don't give up if you're using the Pregmate strips to compare to Mira for your first 1 or 2 cycles. Give it a little chance to replicate to your body because it's an amazing tool. The only con I have of Mira, and it's not really a con if you can afford it, is the price. It's the same price pretty much as the Ava bracelet. There are people, if you look on YouTube, that have affiliate codes. I have an affiliate code, TB20, if you are interested in getting $20 off. I personally, if you're trying to conceive and if you have the coins to do it, I highly recommend investing in some of these ovulation tracking tools. I think they're amazing. If you're a science person like me and you want to see the numbers and you want to see your trends over time, I would say to invest in it. It's amazing. I really have no cons, and it has been extremely helpful in me trying not to get pregnant. So I don't really like condoms and I really don't like birth control. So I've been using it to time intercourse around my fertility window, and I have not gotten pregnant using that. Again, it's a gamble, but it's been working. So I personally love both. I'm gonna continue to use both because I have both. Hope that this video explains to everyone like where I've been at. I know people have been wanting that update on the Mira analyzer. Some people inbox me saying, oh, it must not work because you're not pregnant. Honey, it works because I'm not pregnant. Trust me, trust me. If I had sex on all those times I was getting peaks, bruh.
My lips are so ashy. I'm so sorry, y'all. That's disrespectful.
They both work. I really truly believe they both work. And again, they both have their own little nuances, but I use them in tandem with one another. Some people use them independently of one another. I love them both, and I want to compare the two because I'm never going to give you guys a review that's not honest. I'm never going to push something that I don't believe in, and I absolutely love this mirror analyzer. They have not contacted me and asked me to do an update video or a review. I'm doing this on my own because a lot of people have been asking, and I've been using it. So my mirror analyzer just analyzed, and I'll show you guys the results. So again, the second test, 9:41 a.m., it says I have 1.94 MIU per milliliter in my urine of LH, and AKA none, and that matches up pretty well with the OPK strip. I'll show you all. Here are the numbers from today's OPK. If you can see those 1 point blah 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 numbers, and it basically says I have none in my urine, okay? But if you look at the OPK test strip, the dark line is the test strip, the light line, the dark line is the control line, the light line is the test strip, and it's much lighter than the test line or the control line. So, which means they're reading the same thing. It's not saying I have no LH in my system via Pregmate. I have some, and on Mira I have some, but it's not enough to be, it's not enough for ovulation. So I hope that at some point it gets a little bit darker, but we'll see. It's only cycle day 13. I'm just hoping I'm ovulating late. I'm probably still gonna baby dance today though, because last night was the darkest I've gotten, and that's the closest to a peak I've gotten so far. So I think I'm gonna baby dance today, just in case ovulation occurred last night. In about 12 hours, so hopefully my eggs live at least 24 hours. Sorry, I'm just talking through like the math of timing intercourse. But I'll still baby dance today, and I will also continue to test throughout the day, and I'll also test tomorrow. Depending on tomorrow's test, I may baby dance again, and I may test 1 or 2 times on the road because my body might shock me and I might ovulate like during cycle day 17 or something. But my cycles are also really short. I usually get my period around cycle day 25, 26. So body's all over the place. Pray for me. Either way, I'll do some live home pregnancy tests in about 2 weeks when I'm settled in LA. Unless Aunt Flo shows her ass early. Really hope that you guys like this video. I hope I displayed it in a way that was helpful. Again, basically the gist of this video is they both work, they both line up. The strips and the analyzer, the mirror thing, they both work. So invest in what you decide to invest in, and if you decide to invest in Mira, TB20 is my code. Please do not forget it. I put it in all of my video descriptions, even if they're not TTC videos. I hope you enjoy it. Give me some feedback. Let me know if you bought the Mira and how it's working for you. And hopefully you get your BFPs in a couple of weeks. All right, y'all. Have a good one. Bye.